Hey guys, uh, I've decided to do a little bit of a different video today. Um, because the simple fact is what I'm going to be talking about today kind of goes in the same category. Um, some of y'all may know that I go through bouts of chronic issues that stem from a certain part of my life. Um, I haven't been easy on my body by any means. Um, I'm short. I've always been short. I'm not always been as big as I am now. Was about 150 pounds. When I came home from the military, from the Navy, the last weight was like 120 something, and I felt horrible. Because I I pushed myself so hard. Um, and chronic issues go hand in hand with your life. And as you age, your body tells you it's enough is enough. Um, and bring this up because it's kind of the old cliche that you know your body just it deteriorates as we age. I've got a timer on this video. It's I'm gonna try to go about an hour and 30 minutes because I'm actually gonna be making something uh as I talk about this kind of stuff and just talk about what I'm feeling inside. This is a side of me that I don't really show a lot. Um, I made this channel so that I could make online and show and teach and do that kind of stuff because that's what I've always inspired to do is make things and do them live. Um, and part of that issue is, you make a lot of people make for different reasons. I make to take my mind off things. Guys, I'm sorry if you hear something in the background. My brother is watching YouTube on his phone and got it up. Um, so and some of y'all might have saw the other thumbnail, and I kind of turned a different path on this one. You will start seeing me work with some tools, guys. It's just tools that I have. And I've put some of this together ahead of time just because um
Let's say that you're already in the YouTube Partner Program, but after the
excuse me guys, some reason that just played. Sorry guys. Um what in the world? Hang on just to make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay. But that's technology. I'm gonna be moving camera around, mic around. I hope I get a good uh angle. Um, gonna warn you, I have a hot glue gun and it gets really hot. So and it's still new to me, so I'm kind of weary on getting burnt for the first time with it because it just gets so hot. And so uh, there's that. Then I'm going to explain. Uh, so what I'm making is a Torii Gate, Torii. It's for a project that I'm doing for my wife's, I'm going to say niece-in-law, because that's what it is. Um, that's what she is. And so they're getting married, and um, their thing is Nissan, uh, the Skylines. And so I'm doing a 1/8 scale diorama, and I'm making a lamp too that it goes, and I'll make all that in time. I have till November to get this done, November the 21st. And it's kind of, I just don't know where it's going to go because it's kind of out of what I do. Um, and I'll also show y'all, um, a lot of people have asked me where Anatiba, or excuse me, Amanita, sorry, I butchered that. Anyway, where is it? And actually right over here. Because right there. Um it's I had it I built it last year, and my my stories will be kind of where I am in my life. It's kind of um I guess kind of came full circle. And so it's gonna evolve. The stories will, I hope you will find them inspirational, or something, something that you can watch with your kids and maybe me teach. Um, and I'll be learning to, um, it's gonna be, that format's gonna be like roughly a cartoon, but I'm gonna take it on. Some of y'all will notice that a lot of it will reflect mine. Sorry, guys. My stomach is bothering me. Um, One of my other chronic conditions. Uh, but guys, this is just me being who I am. Uh, I've always done stuff like this. I make stuff out of all kind of stuff, and I'll walk you through Amanita. Probably I'll show y'all some of it today. Well, all of it today, but you're not gonna. You can, every time you look at it, you'll see something different. And it took me a while to build. It really did. It was my first attempt at this, and this is where I've gotten the ideas for my lamps and my mushrooms and just who I am. Uh, I've always loved gnomes, Irish stuff, of course, my Native American stuff. Um, so anyway, guys, I hope. Let me look at my timer. The only reason that I'm going at a timer is because of the way the camera is set up. After an hour and a half, I want to see where the battery drain is because it's not charging. It's running its own power. To see how long I'm going to have to do a lot of this stuff. And I may film some of this stuff and release it, that way. But I really want to talk as I'm making this stuff because it gets my mind thinking. Um, I I don't know if chat is up, guys. If it is, it is chat there. I don't have it up so that I can't see it because I get too distracted. People will say something and will get me off kilter. I do that anyway. So there's that. So let me move this mic and the camera around. So I'm sorry if some of y'all get motion sickness. I get motion sickness too. So give me a second. Let me reset and you'll see me resetting everything. So get all this stuff situated. Mics and yeah, I'm gonna probably move my chair down a little too. And guys, this is my little studio, so it's what it is. There we go. Can you see my hands? Can you see my hands? Can you hear me? I know that camera angle is really funny. What happens when you only have one means of holding? Uh, let's see. How am I gonna set this? Okay, guys. I'll get that later. It will. I'll show you what I'm doing with that anyway, and I've got extras. So anyway, guys, there's the mouse. Like I said, you'll probably hear my alarm going off on my phone, or if somebody's calling me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm putting where I'm reaching to, guys. This is Amanita right here, where my hands are at. Anyway, I'm reaching in and putting my phone in the backlog. So this is a Torii Gate. It's not the traditional colors. There, she kept pounding me maroon, emerald green, and then there's a periwinkle. When I get to building, or not going to be building the model cars, they're going to be 1/8 scale. But I'm going to see if I can take them apart and paint them their colors. Just because kind of wanting to do that, but we'll see. So let me make it, turn it around. This camera angle is really bothering me. But if I take that off, if I take this off and move it, one second, guys. Try again. Anyway, I'll show you. This is Amanita. Okay. We're gonna go for a ride. Give me a second. Gotta reset these walls. The joys of filming close up. Let's see. That is a really bad look-see. And I'm doing it in vertical, so uh we may have to change something with this. Bear with me, guys. We're just gonna go with it. Anyway, so this is their gate. And I've built this some together. And I'm gonna build some more of it today so that you can see it how I'm going. Her favorite animal. And if any of you guys, there we go. That's better. It flipped around. I like this better. Okay, good. If any of y'all know where I can find charms for red pandas, send me an email or send me a link to them, because I am in need of red pandas. I've seen some and I don't like them. Some of y'all, if you notice, I'm into mushrooms. My table, yes, I made this table. If you see something that you like, let me know, and I'll try my best to incorporate some things. Like I said, gnomes and mushrooms is my thing. It's even incorporated into my Native American stuff. I've blended it all together. The maroon and emerald she was dead set on maroon. I hope this maroon sets her, because I blended it. The emerald color, this color right here is emerald, or is what I would consider emerald. So there's and this isn't the finished product. This is just this gate. Her thing is sea turtles. I got plenty of sea turtle stuff. I can find that stuff. But red panda is another another beast in itself. And guys, I am moving around my mic because it's kind of in my way, and I know you may get some of that back feed. Okay, let's try this. Okay, that's the wrong way. Hang on. This is off. No, I'm trying to get it back to where it was. No, that's not where it was. Let's see. Is that better? I am guessing it is. I'm sorry if the audio cuts in and out, or I'm echoey or something. I sound like a robot right now. That's live streaming for you. So the reason I make things is because I have these chronic conditions, and chronic conditions. I want to put this down for right now because I need to make these other um ideas going on. Chronic pain, we see this a lot, guys. And the thumbnail that I had before, it kind of upsets me that, you know, a a, a a get the hot glue gun hot. Guys, when I say this thing gets hot, it gets hot. It gets really hot. So I'm gonna try my best not to burn or cuss, but if I do, I'm sorry. Um, but my uh part of who I am, I create because I do have, these paint it, and I get mad when we do um we do um we tear our bodies up, us meager low folk. I need to go lower. Huh, there we go. Hydraulics. Um we we have um oh, here comes the kitty cats. Um we we watch these, baseball, football, professional wrestlers. Yeah, they ding their bodies up. That's okay. Hi, baby. Sissies up here. Um, I I get upset because they can, afford to get a knee replaced, or and they have stem cells, and they do all this other stuff, and it also irks me is we go to the doctor, and they tell us we need to go to a specialist for this, that, and the other, and we have to jump through our insurances to get said treatment. And then, like, we've run across this with Steph. Her foot has been hurting her um for a while now. Sorry, I'm just trying to line up how the long ones that I need. Because I made extra, and some of them, well, they're not perfect, and they're not supposed to be perfect. So, but I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to use. I try to want to use the longer as possible, as much as possible. Let's see. Uh, uh, that. So This is the longest. And this one. And these two. That doesn't look right. That looks... No. Okay. That's shorter. Okay. We'll just go with that. If have to, I'll unglue them. But anyway, they, they can tear up their knee like my, I'm a fan. Well, I'm a fan of the Undertaker, not a fan of Mark Calloway. And he was like, oh yeah, I, um, they push, certain treatments that he'll say, oh yeah, I got 2 new knees, and they feel so great, and I can do this, that, and the other. And yeah, I get that he put his body on the line to entertain us. Here's that maroon. Um, guys, when I say maroon, so I mixed. I get a base of white paint, and the white paint is just normal house paint, and then I mix it with my acrylics to make my paints. And I don't know if it's gonna show up good or not. Let's see. Well, light. Uh, it's almost Dr. Pepper maroon is what I call it. But she insisted on a maroon, so guys, you're gonna get a glare from that light, and I'm sorry, because the top of this glass is this table is plexiglass. Let's see if I can. It is adjustable. Let's see if I can. That's a warm light. That's a blue. That's a mix. For some reason, I tend to work better with the mix of the cool and the blue, or the cool and the warm. Um, I can't do it like that. And so, uh, it just aggravates me because, you know, we tear our bodies up doing, we make, and, I say we, because I've, I've worked in the same kind of, I've worked in retail. I was a stalker, and I worked in fast food, and I know how difficult the job is, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's not hard work, and it is hard work. You're there's so many people in fast food, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I would do anything uh for the companies that I've worked for. Um it's not necessarily the companies. It was for my bosses. Because I respected my bosses, and I was taught um do whatever you can to make a good impression on the people that you work under. And that's true to a point, and I get it. Um, but at what cost? Oh, this is gonna get paint everywhere. Just put this underneath. And I was trying not to paint on camera, but obviously it's gonna need it. Um, we, I was taught from a young age, um, I was taught not to negotiate my pay, not to do it. They pay you with what they believe you're worth, and I kind of wish I would have learned how to negotiate my pay, because now that I look at it, some of the jobs I handled, and I'm not bragging again, but when I worked at the hospital, in dietary, in the kitchen, um, my job was to make sure that every utensil was clean, every tool was clean, down to the tool of maintaining the floors and the drains, and uh, you know, little bit now, little bits in here bugging me. Um, and I took that job seriously, because if the patients, it starts with their food. They come in and they've had a heart attack or stroke. Little bit, you're messing with my light, girl. Um, that they're coming and they need good, clean, healthy food, knowing that it's prepared safely, and I took that responsibility. Also, making sure the doctors, their food, and the nurses, their food was, because the kitchen handles their breakfast, luncheons, and their dinners, and they do work, long shifts, and people call in sick, or you work in the health industry, and I get it. And everybody wants to be well, from what I understand now, they want to be an influencer, and I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just trying to be me, um, and be authentic to who I am. And but they do work long hours, and I've heard from so many people, other countries, the U.S. has some horrible. We have horrible health care. Go lay down a little bit, please. Our cats have a temptation to chew on our cords, and everything's wrapped with. I've got safe. I have wire loom on all my, but still figure out a way to chew. And these are gonna take a little bit to dry. But in hindsight, um, this is the reason why I make things. This is the reason, um, I because the the chronic pain will be gone for, not gone, but it's manageable, and you're doing something productive. It does take your mind off something, it does take your mind off of the things. And, but anyway, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I know it all, because I don't. Um, and I've caught myself saying what I'm about to say, and uh, when a loved one passes away, somebody will always say, "Well, at least they're in a better place. They're not hurting anymore." And as y'all may know, I am an atheist of the Christian way of thinking. Um, or the biblical God. Okay. I'm not gonna get deep into that today. That's not this kind of talk. Um, but I'm just seeing if they're dry. I got a heat gun and I'm trying not to use it. Um, I've caught myself saying that, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. If there was a way to keep our loved ones alive forever without pain, even me, I dream of not having these chronic issues, but the only other option is to pass away. And I say this because I used to say it when I was younger, and when I was younger, I wanted to be a firefighter or a police officer, or I had the ideas of doctor. I with the I'm not a medical practitioner, so YouTube, don't come at me for false information. Um, but I wanted to heal my mom, my nanny, my brother of all their illness. My mom's mental illnesses, my nanny's physical, chronic pain and anxiety. Well, anxiety is its own. Um, but I wanted to cure all this, and I often dreamed, if there was one little pill that I could make all of them swallow, and it would take everything away, and they could live forever without pain. Yeah, that's what I stinking mosquito. Um, that's what I wanted. Uh, beyond, that's what I wanted for, as my family. And this bring this kid, I guess he's probably 13, well, probably 15, 16 now. um but he graduated like high school, and he was like 11 or 12, and he was asked um what he wanted to do, as his profession. And he said, I want to cure death. And he said he wanted to cure everybody from, whatever chronic conditions they've had. Oh, these little hearts are going to go on the Torii Gate. And I'm kind of making this one like a yin yang kind of, you know, it kind of goes with it. Um, I haven't, no, it's the other one's maroon. Um, I'm trying to find my way around. Um, it it's just that's what he wants to do, and I I hear that because that was the same sentiment. But there was no way I was graduating school when I was 12 or 13 years old. Actually, no, I was in that freaking cult at that time, so there was no way. Um, but I did have the dream of, you know, taking, it's a goal, and it, like, when you create stuff, it does help. But like I said, we that's the first thing we say is they're in a better place. And honestly, I say this because um I lost my mom and my aunt in 23, and before that I lost my he's my great cousin, but I called all my kids know him as Uncle Dusty. Because I considered him a brother, but he was adopted into the family, and I got really close to him. I mean, I was close to him when I was younger. Um, when I was younger, he'd come pick me up, and start, like I said, on mostly um the summers were allotted to my uncles, my uncle Johnny. Um, but Dusty, he would, he'd come and grab me, and he had this. This is in the early '90s. He had a uh extended cab, a Ford F-150, and it was blue and white. I mean, I'm not a Ford person, but I loved seeing that show up because I knew, you know, uh, I knew that I didn't have to worry about food. He was going to take care of me because as soon as I got in there, he'd have a cooler in the truck, back of the truck, full of Dr. Pepper and beef jerky and M&Ms, and yes, I know, bad food for me, but I was a kid and I loved it. I still do. Um, I still love, I love beef jerky and all kind of candies. Probably the reason why I'm so big right now. Um, but uh, it was like, but I knew that he would full cooler of Dr. Pepper, full cooler of or the glass bottles of A&W, the cream soda, the glass bottles. And I think still there was the Dr. Pepper was still glass bottles too, or I remember drinking a lot of the glass bottle drinks, but I can't remember when they all started switching over to plastic. But uh, anyway, it contributed to my um, but I'm trying to not sound medical because, well, you know, um, but in this is the early '90s too, guys, and he was LBGQ, but this was not, you know, you don't didn't talk about it, and but he had suffered a heart attack, and and then he gained a. I mean, he was. They were on diet pills, him and his husband, because we're in East Texas, and at that time, the fashion was to be skinny and cowboy, and he actually this day or to the day he passed away, it talked about how, and I remember him, this skinny, always, you never saw the man without a cigarette and a regular Dr. Pepper or iced tea, sweet iced tea. But he was super thin, and as he got older, um, I learned a lot from him. I didn't know he was a train engineer. Like, what? He's like, yeah, you didn't know. I said, no, I didn't know what you did for a living. And and mind you guys, when I say my cousin was tall, he was tall. He was 6'7", 6'8". I mean, tall. Tall. And I looked up to him in more than one way. But he was tall. And as he got older, and I'm much younger. He was in his 60s, in his 70s now. He'd tell me, I'm scared of dying. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because, my lifestyle and guys, at this point, I was coming out as atheist, but I was trying to put his mind at ease, and I'm like, you're a good person. You're not, if there's a God, you're not gonna go there. But he was terrified of it. And guys, I want to tell you, he was on medicine. He was on every kind of medicine possible. And he had been on hospice for about 15 years at least. And they allowed him Dilaudid and morphine and he was on fentanyl. I mean, he had a fentanyl patch, and he had Dilaudid as a liquid, and just to kill the pain. But the last week of his life, we talked a lot about. He really wanted to come off the medications, and I take medicines. I mean, I do. I take several medications for different things, and quite honestly, I'm kind of like that too. But he was, as we're sitting here waiting paint to dry, hot glue gun is dripping. He was like, well, I'm gonna come off my meds for X amount of days so I can. He wanted me to come to this. They were having a graduation party for his niece. And I was like, no, that's your family time. I don't want to come. It was not my kind of thing, even though it's family. Wells are dry. who, when I say I'm afraid of this gun, I really am afraid of it. I wish I would see that. I mean, this thing is, it, it, it gets hot. I don't know if you can see that steam, but yeah, it's hot. Um, but he was so afraid. But he did. He came off all his meds for 2 days, so he could drink one last hurrah. I brought this up before, but it, it, I can't get it out of my mind, and um, trying to figure out where I'm gonna place this because it's gonna be too low. They need to set level. Over this one. It's gonna. I'm gonna have to figure this out, but I'll have to come back to this. But I will get this situated. I'll make this one level across there, and I'll put something underneath. Make it be up like make a stone of some sort. Um, Guys, this hot glue gun does not, and it's really bad because it's the Heart brand, and I love this thing. I wanted once and finally because Ollie's is getting all the Walmart stuff and selling it liquidation form. I'm guessing that glue gun is something else. Um, but he always, but he came off of it, drank his last, and then Monday morning came around, and then he would always call me at early in the morning. And he'd talk to me. We'd get off the phone for a couple hours. He'd call me again, and a phone call in the morning. I was like, "Hey, cousin." He's like, "It was his husband," and I'm like, "Don't tell me." He's like, "Yeah, um, he's had a stroke, and he's got a DNR." So I go out there, and I at this time my aunt was still alive, and she came with me, but she's like, "I'm not gonna go to the funeral." I'm like, "Okay, it's that's totally your call. I'm not gonna." They were close, but they wasn't like close like me and him was. I mean, they were when they were younger. Um, but yeah, I said that at that point, yeah, he's gonna be in a better place. It's just not true. You say that, and deep down inside, well, with me, probably the last time you'll ever, get to see them, and it was hard because I just know how much he feared it because he was so scared of the afterlife that he and I tried to tell him. I was like, "What did you do so wrong?" well, because I'm, a, LBGQ, and I'm like, don't need to worry about that. You you don't. I mean, if that's your disqualification, you know, save me a seat in hell. I'll be right there with you. You know, uh, it's just it's just so ludicrous. We have to deal with chronic illness, and this is where I was going with, because you know Mark Calloway gets two brand new knees, and Rey Mysterio talks about stem cells, and everybody knows how expensive that kind of stuff is. And you know the thing of it is, they will still go out and make money, and they're allowed to get shots and stuff in their in their legs and stuff, so they can go out and perform. But we get this we get the short end of it, like the little people, like the people that are paying their salaries. We we look up to them, and look, guys, this thing's been off, and you see how, yeah, that thing's worn. I have a new respect for hot glue guns. um I just, it bothers me, like, and the wrestlers are going on, they're doing podcasts talking about this stuff, and you're like, the people that's, like, I know a guy and his wife, they're both in wheelchairs, and they're big WWE fans, and they've if they're watching this, they know who they are. um but you know I can't help to say, you know the business that they love, and I mean, to a point, I still do. There's a couple wrestlers that I really look up to now. um really look up to. But how long have I been going? I don't know. I've already been going for an hour. Dang, guys. I may see, I may go a little bit longer, just because it looks like I'm at 73% on this battery. Um, but they paid to go see, these wrestlers, and I mean, if I had the money, I would go too. But it's just like, some of the treatment that these wrestlers are getting, it could probably help them, but they don't have that kind of money. That stuff, that's it's just, that's a lot of money. And for those, some of these treatments, and it doesn't go just for the professional. I call sports all sports entertainment, because I just think probably most of it's kind of storyline, per se. See how far we can go. 72%. We'll see. we'll see how far we can test. I hope y'all are getting something out of this. Um, on. It's like watching paint dry. The glue, the hot glue takes, and I'm probably gonna have to do some other takes of what I'm gonna have to do with this. I'm gonna set that to the side, and I'm going to put these on real quick. And I'm not gonna do a shiny gloss. I'm gonna do a semi gloss on this. Let's see. I want it's gonna be sitting. So this is gonna be the right, and that's how. Okay. I'm gonna age this. Look at that steam, guys. I don't know if you can see that. That thing's steaming hot. Um, but like, I just, it just bothers me that we have, we people say, oh, we have the best in the world. And yeah, we have the best in the world. But if the 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 people in your country that have this technology can't afford it, I'm gonna have to do something to make this heart stand out against that burgundy. Put it like that. That might work. Yeah, let's do that. Guys, and I'm telling you, you can smell the heat. It smells like right after it's rained on a hot summer day with the asphalt. That's what it smells like. Oh, um, but it's just one of those things, guys. It just really, I get, I know I shouldn't, and it shouldn't bother me like it does, but it does. It bugs me knowing that a lot of these treatments that they get, we should be able to get too, without, without breaking our bank, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, let's see. This is gonna have to be a different animal somehow. Uh, I don't know how I'm gonna put this on without. Didn't think this through, did I? Oh, I was gonna show y'all since I dropped one earlier. Since I'm diabetic, I have empty vials, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them, affix them to right here, and make little lamps, and I'm gonna make some mushrooms, little wooden mushrooms tops, and light it up like I did with Amanita Village, Hollow Miles Village. And I'm gonna do on the corners like this. They're gonna be lit up. So that's why the light. I'm gonna get some fairy lights which is within that diorama. Take the fairy lights and put them through there, and actually you can program each color, each light to its own color. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see. I've been going an hour and 5 minutes. Doesn't feel like it. The phone's actually holding up pretty well. Better than I thought. It's an older phone, so I just wanted to test it with. And there I go messing with it. There we go. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, it irks me. It makes me angry about our healthcare situation. Uh, like I said, if we could live, and it's just not wrestlers, and it's not just, it's the high politicians. They're in office 80. There's some, I don't know how long some of them, most of them freaking old, and they're living X amount of years from the money that they've gotten through lobbies and everything else. And it just makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. Because knowing, they don't have to stay within the states. They can go outside the country and get their doctors doing that too. I I often think, I don't know how long it's been. Oh, I gotta figure out how to set this up. And I'm about to burn myself. I hope I'm not. Oh, the lag. Sorry, guys. My hardwire went kaput, so I'm having to use the Wi-Fi, which it's not a big deal. It's a big deal to me. Let's see. Put this one on the inside. No. Oh, that's the only way I can do it. I'm gonna have to. All right. Well, I'll make stones, I guess. Do it that way. Uh, you know, and I say this, but and I get it. Biden's son, Bo, he got brain cancer, and he had to live through that. Um, and I mean, he had all the right doctors, and even his. I don't know if Miss Biden is his mom or if it's. I think it's his stepmom. Is a doctor, and I get that, and they probably have they have he probably had treatments and it just didn't work, and but it just knowing that the treatment that he had, it didn't work, but they still had the best physicians on his case. And oh goodness gracious, yeah, this is gonna be a fun thing to figure out. I don't know if I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Um, but like, it doesn't. It's just. I mean, like I said, I know he lost his son to it, but I mean, he's got cancer now, and he's he's not young, and we spend all this money on, president's health care, and but we can't get that, we can't get that kind of treatment unless we're filthy rich, and we're not. None of a lot of us aren't. I mean, I'm not. I mean, if I was, I mean, and I get it, that's a luxury that a lot of us don't. We don't get, but it should be able. We should be able to get it, you know. And come on, glue. Oh, it just it saddens me because we we want our loved ones to be here forever. We want to be here forever, and you know, it just sucks. That's just all it boils down to. It sucks, and I may be looking at this totally wrong, but and out of context, but that's kind of where I'm at today, guys, and I I've been trying to, the last few times, I've done 3 videos a week, and I like I said, I have IBS, I have blood pressure issues, I have my prolonged QT, and I got my IBS and some other things. And sometimes, guys, I want to be online making content. Oh, those are it's not my timer. Um, but you know, I try to do these videos, and like I said, I want to do more of these kind of videos because this is what I like doing, and it's therapeutic for me to make stuff. When it helps, it helps. And I don't want to, but if any of y'all can do uh do projects, do them. They're fun to learn and fun to do. Um, they do take your mind off the everyday world just for a small time. Um, yeah, it does. It makes you tired. It does. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Do I had an idea, and now it's turning into a different animal. Do 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 it like this. Don't you dare do it. Hot, hot. Ow! I told you I was gonna wind up burning myself. Ow. Adam Savage needs to send me that merit badge. But it needs to be hot, burn with a very, very hot glue gun. it saddens me that Walmart's getting rid of their Heart brand because their drills and stuff, but that hot glue gun is no joke. I thought it was gonna be a variable, like you could turn it to, well, there's high heat glue and then there's low heat, and I don't know the difference. I got the crystal clear. Oh, I had something to say on glues. Um, I don't know how true this is because I was using a hot glue gun that was my aunt's, and I've been, like I said, I've been wanting, a battery powered one, and I had heard that you want to stick with the glue that you've always, if you get a new glue gun, you stay with the glue that you like, but you just stay with that glue. Don't switch from one brand to the other because supposedly, it does something inside the heating element. You'll get inconsistency and all this other. Seriously, quit dripping. Uh, there we go. Uh, you get inconsistencies with heat, and I think that's true because the way this I like this hot glue that I get in bulk on Amazon. This stuff, like in that glue gun, performed way. I mean, it performed in that glue gun, but in this glue gun, it really does like it. A lot of people don't use hot glue. Man, use what you got. Make it. This. I didn't show how I made the top. I just took, and I know this is expensive. I just took uh, a piece of wood and then covered it over with sculpture mold to make it look like a rock. And I did the whole. Well, I traced out, and then I made it that way. And a lot of these, you see them, they're made out of all wood, and but there is some that they're made out of stone, all stone. And I was like, I don't want to do all stone, so I was like, I'll do different of um different techniques. Sorry guys, I'm just 65% for an hour and a half. Yeah, there we go. And I don't even have it in frame, do I? Well, it's kind of hard to have it in frame. There you go. Just see what I'm doing. I'm trying to make kind of like a ledge like that, so that will work. That's what I was not trying to do. Guys, even doing this, feeling the heat coming through the wood, because I mean these are thick popsicle sticks, and I can feel that heat. Woo! My goodness. I wonder if I'll be saying that next few years if it's still that hot. Goodness gracious, man. And guys, y'all wouldn't believe on how many brands makes hot glue guns. You wouldn't think there are very many, but all of them have. That one's sticking the way it's supposed to by itself. I'm trying not to touch it. The popsicle sticks are warped too from the paint. As you'll see where I'm talking about, I'm gonna have to. I got a gap between the ground, and I'm gonna have to build some kind of footer for them. I already have an idea of what I'm gonna do down here to make it look like it's held together by rope. Alright. Okay, goodness. I was hoping that was gonna be dry. Ah, no. I did think I was gonna get away with that. Just drop one drop. Moved away my fingers real quick. Flips. Yeah, baby shark, shark, doo doo doo. It's my boy. Don't you sing that in front of me. He hates it. Because he used to drive me nuts with that song, and now it's kind of funny. We used to play it for me and go, Dad, you the one that brought that into the house. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of getting quiet now because I don't know what to talk about. I kind of went my spiel. I was trying to see how, like I said, I really wanted to, I've been really wanting to do this on camera to, you know, show y'all I do other things besides talk to myself on camera. Let's see. Those are quite a bit higher. Nothing's perfect in the world. You just gotta build, and this is my kind of thing. I wanted, there's some, you know, when you, this is a wedding gift for them, and I've we've had one wedding. I gave uh I call them my wonder wands. I've made I've made a couple, and one of my friends from high school got like three of them, and I made one for our good friend, and we left it on the table, and she posted it on Facebook. I don't know who left this, but it's gorgeous, and she's like, and my wife was like, "Oh, that was us," and she's like, well, "Why didn't you put a name on it?" And I told her, I said, because I didn't want to put a name on it. It had one of my tags on it for but she didn't know where it came from. She's like, as soon as, because of course they're wanting to have a baby soon, and so she's like, I'm gonna put it above their bed. I was like, well, that's a good place for it. But my friend from high school, uh, they so they've been together ever since. I'm guessing ever since we left school, and they both had some health issues. They're like, we didn't think we are gonna be able to have babies, and they wound up having Catherine. And they're like, we're putting it above her bed. I'm like, okay, wherever you want to put it. So I've given it one of those as wedding, and the other ones were bought. One was they bought two, and I gave them one as a gift because I'm not gonna be that way with my friends. But of course, I hated selling it to them because friends, and that's a real thing too, guys. You make stuff, and you make stuff for friends, and you don't want to charge them for it. I know that feeling. I knew that's my feeling. Oh, come on now. Want to? No, no, I don't want to. Okay, that's the way you want to be. That's the way you're gonna be. Well, that stinks. I guess. I mean, these Torii Gates, they're up for. I mean, I don't know how old the ones are in Japan. Oh, so I did want to say what they're for. Um, so they're gates. So there's the normal world, and then there's sacred world, and these gates you're supposed to bow before you go in them, enter them, and it basically spirit realm and earthly realm or whatever, and come in the colors represent something, and you don't normally see them the way this one is turning out, because it's art, um and but they but that's what they're for. They're between the spirit world and the real world, um the holy realms, and certain things mean certain, there's meaning behind all of it. And of course, everything that I build, there will be a Native American element to it. There will be a gnome and mushroom themes throughout it. Yeah. Um, little Easter eggs on who built it. um, but yeah, that's like one plant there. I'll let this clamp up, and then I'll go. I'm still going to do a certain way. All right, guys. Well, I am right at an hour and 30 minutes. The test went successful, 61%. So I could probably film 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe, uh with one charge on this camera. We'll see how we're gonna do with the next one. um Guys, like I said, well, I'm doing this in my studio. um but some of the stuff I really want to do outside. Oh, not too bad. This test was actually pretty good. So now I know roughly how long I can jibber jabber. Well, but hopefully um y'all like this, because this is the whole reason why I was wanting to do a YouTube channel, is to show y'all me making stuff. Because this is who I am. Oh my goodness. We have got, that is warped of all kind of warp. So somehow, maybe I'll have it maybe I'll have it fixed where this is finished and we'll tackle something different, new. I've got to, there's a lamp portion of this project. There's also, so the gates here, and it's going to be a 1/18 scale. There's going to be a R, either 32, 33, or 34 skyline on this side, and she loves the R35s. So this one, his will probably be emerald with the maroon stripes or something. Hers is a little bit more, if any of y'all are familiar with those cars, they have dampers and, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of that part, though, like the bottom parts are carbon fiber, and they're painted on top. Fast and the Furious, like, that's there. Then the lamp's going to be behind, which normally the lamps are electrified with power, but I've got a really cool idea that I'll show when that gets done, or I'll show that process. I don't know how long or how much that process I'll be showing, but I'll be showing some of it. But anyway, guys, I hope that you have a good weekend. It's Friday. Hope y'all have a good weekend. Like I said, guys, I want to say something, and please remember that we all have our disabilities. We all have our abilities. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. Let's see if I can. See if I can. We all have our demons. Well, not really demons, but we all have. We're all human. And I got some time here that I wanted to. I guess I can talk on it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure y'all aren't too. I'm not too close to the camera, but I got to make sure the mic is. I'm close enough to the mic to pick up. Wow, yeah, that's funny. This is something I want to touch base with. A lot of people, and I'm going to say COVID. Go ahead, YouTube, say something. I want you to. It's a matter. It's a fact. that we learned some things. Some things. There we go. I hope I don't blare y'all's ears. Um, we had a 24/7 economy, and I've touched base on this, and it's the AI, this robotic stuff, guys. We have such more potential for us to make the world work for us. We have oodles of technology, and why are most, make sure the hot glue gun's off. Why do we fight that? Why do we want technology, and then when it's here, we want to put a lid on it? It's already out in the wild. It's already out in the wild. Don't be afraid to use technology. Some of it, yes, it most definitely hurts some of us. And some of it is we want it, but we're scared to cross that bridge. And like any of us, there's some of us that love technology and we embrace it, and some of us don't embrace it. And a lot of us that don't embrace it, we get left behind. And I look at it like this. I really think that, I know a lot of people like, oh, if you don't have a real job, what do you call a real job? Answer me that. What do y'all consider a real job? For centuries, priests and rabbis, preachers, did not get paid for their service. They lived in a house that was at the church. I can't remember what it's called. For Baptist preachers or Pentecostals always had. But anyway, for the longest time that didn't work. Nurses didn't get paid, and now with everything that's monetized, and does that consider real work, or do you consider what we do as me? I don't get paid to do this stuff. Is this work? Do you have to be sweating and hurting your body for that to be considered work? In the Bible, it talks in the Bible. Here I go. Abel was a farmer. No, Cain was a farmer. Abel was a sheep shepherd, and God was happy with Abel's sacrifice, and Cain's it wasn't. That's why he murdered him. And then, oh Lord, I just said the M word. Oh boy, unalived him. And he got mad because God didn't accept his, and then God supposedly then he accepted it, or whatever. I know the story, and y'all are gonna say I butchered it, but whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. So, is plowing the field better than being a shepherd, or is being a shepherd better than plowing the field? What's considered work? I consider work what's going on in my head, and I'm putting it down into my art or when I'm talking. Guys, I'm gonna add another 30 minutes to an hour. Here I go again. But now I done had a brain lapse. But anyway, guys. Sorry, excuse me. My bad. But anyway, guys, I hope to see you next time. Where's my mouse? Over there. If y'all want to see more of Amanita, the world, let me know and I'll do a better and dive deep of exploring it with you and explain some of the, because it will be in a cartoon soon. I'm having to learn all this stuff. But anyway, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good, safe weekend, and I hope I will see y'all. I'm gonna, guys, these videos have to come to me. I know they say be persistent, but guys, I'm just doing this because my computer quit lagging.